All right, what up, Saints fans? Today we're gonna be watching a few interviews. See what Darren Rizzi's talking about heading into next week, next game. I mean, put up 0 points. I mean, it's gonna be hard to get a head coaching job. He ain't working on much, so it's not
Hey
fair.
guys,
But
hopefully you guys all had a happy
we'll see what
holiday,
he's
Merry
talking about.
Christmas, all that good stuff. Good to see you back. Just a couple
Merry
quick
Christmas.
injury updates. Still no Derek or Alvin today.
Need
As
Alvin
far as practice goes,
to get that
same thing with
1,000-yard
Eric and
season.
Lucas.
That'll be
It doesn't
fire.
look like Eric, and I mentioned Lucas the other day, is probably going to miss extended time. Looks like Eric's going to be out as well this week. Everybody else on there, all the injury guys. Looks like Nathan Shepard will be, he was out there today. He's trending in the right direction. Same thing with MVS. He looks like he's trending in the right direction as well. And then, we're still taking it day to day with Chris Olave naturally with his situation. So that's kind of where we are from an injury standpoint. And again, looking forward to the opportunity. Short week. We got to get refocused, kind of put that one, learn from that one, put that one behind us, and move forward because it's going to be here quickly and before we know it. So with that, I'll take some questions.
Okay.
Can you just kind of walk the schedule this week? It's a little bit different, obviously, the holiday coming up from Monday. Just kind of, how is it different, and just how's it kind of?
Yeah, in a ways, we're kind of treating it like a little bit like a Thursday night game, if you will, because we got back early, however you want to say it, late early on New Year's Eve. Christmas Eve. I'm going to get my holidays mixed up. And so, obviously we have to have a player's day off. I just felt like some guys came in here and got a lift and treatment and all that stuff on Christmas Eve. Christmas Day was the day off. And then today was kind of a Wednesday install. Tomorrow will be a Thursday install. Saturday will be a combination Friday, Saturday. So from an install standpoint, we really just miss our situational stuff that we usually get on a Saturday. So it's kind of we're going to cram Friday and Saturday into kind of a joint deal. It's usually what we do when we play a Thursday game. So it's very, very similar to that short week. Traveling back, obviously, late at night and all that, mixed in with the holiday. Just felt like that was the right thing to do.
You mentioned on Tuesday that the goal would be to maybe get Derek out there to kind of game out how things might look. Is that still the plan?
Yeah, his grip strength gets a little bit better every day. It's improving. I know I sound like a broken record when I come in here and talk about him.
Bro has a broken hand. Why would he play quarterback?
Improvement.
That's just crazy.
The biggest thing would be able to see if we can on Friday or Saturday get him simulate what a game would look like. If that can happen, then great. We can get him out there. Spencer took all the reps today with the ones. He'll start, the game. If Derek's unable to, which right now is looking like the situation, but hopefully we'll see where Derek's at the next.
I don't see the point in bringing back Carr, like his hand's broken. I don't know. That's just crazy to me. The season's over. We're not making the playoffs. I don't know. Maybe he was the best quarterback on the team. And, we're trying to win games. And I know he wants to win games, just for his overall record in general. I don't know. Because if you lose any of these games, it's really over. But 34-0, that's crazy. I mean, it's not fair. He doesn't have much to work with, like I said.
Couple days. It is, he's still working his tail off to get back. Same thing with Alvin. Both those guys really
I really hope Alvin can come back.
They'd like to play again in these last couple of weeks. So I appreciate and respect
50
that.
yards.
So that's kind of where they're at.
Rizzi, what's been Alvin's progress? Is he pretty much still where he was last week? Or?
Yeah, no, he actually, I saw him today doing his rehab this morning. He was in really good spirits. It's going to be a matter of, I don't know, on this short week if we have a realistic shot, but I think he's got a very realistic shot for the following week.
When you're balancing bringing an injured starter back with the opportunity to look at some younger players, do you have to treat each case differently, or do you have like a blanket rule, if this is the case, the starter goes?
Yeah, I'll just use Alvin and Derek as examples. Those guys have been pretty adamant about, trying to work their way back and play again this season. I think they've earned that right, quite frankly, with their leadership. They're both captains. And so, we'll see what happens with them. I think it is a case-by-case basis. I think I mentioned a bunch of times with Derek, like if we feel like at any point that we're putting him in harm's way, we feel like it could get worse or he can't function at a high level, then at that point it doesn't make any sense to me or him or any anybody.
He can function at a high
At the
level
same
with a
time,
broken
both those
hand.
guys can get back, and they both want to play, and I respect the heck out of the fact that they both want to play. Then we'll do that. But I think it all depends on as you mentioned, kind of an individual basis. If you got a guy like Eric McCoy, for example.
Oh, what's going on? The internet cut off. I'm gonna edit this out, y'all. Promise. Hopefully. Now I'm gonna edit it out. Embarrassing. I'll be back. We're back. I don't know what that was. That was weird. But let's get right back into it.
Could he maybe gut it out here, maybe get back? In that situation, that's really not going to be the case. I think Eric and Lucas are going to miss these next couple of games. So it's really, take it as they come, case by case.
So Eric would be likely done for the next 2 years.
I don't see Eric coming back right now. I don't see that happening. I'm going to sit here and, as I mentioned to you guys.
And Rattler, it's like, how do you evaluate even the head coach? Like, it's so messed up. It's so messed up. It's like
right now,
you just have nothing to work with.
So it looks
you really
like
just have nothing to work with. All these injuries.
Rule anybody
It's sad.
completely out, but it's going to probably be a stretch.
What do you need to see from Olave to get him back on the field? Is there something kind of?
Yeah, so we're giving him a little bit more every day. It's a little bit of a.
Olave, you better put that motherfucking thing on your head, bro.
Tempo with the short week, so we'll do a
motherfucking
little
guardian
bit
cap on
tomorrow where we kind of amp it up and get some speed going. So that's the one day this week where he can, as I mentioned last week, he's got to get back to the cardio thing as well. He feels really good. He's in great spirits. I just had another good conversation with him today about everything. He's kind of chomping at the bit a little bit, but at the same time, no different than the other guys. Just want to be smart with that. So, we can also simulate different things with him. We may bring him out tomorrow or Saturday and kind of run some routes at a different tempo than everybody else, just kind of some routes on air to get his cardio back, things like that. But he's in a good place at the moment.
How difficult is it to shift the mindset of trying to make the playoffs and then just turning it into playing to compete and to get other guys opportunities?
Listen, when that is still out there in front of you,
football, baby.
Like it's been for us until this week, when the possibility of the postseason is still out there, it's still definitely a motivating factor. I'm not going to sit up here and BS you guys about that. No different than the players. And then when that gets taken away from you, listen, it's a goal every year. One of the goals is you come into the season.
You want to go to the Super
Bowl. Make the tournament, want to make the postseason. And so when that goal gets kind of, when you're unable to reach that, it's certainly a letdown. At the same time, you guys have asked me before about the last game or practice today or anything like that. You wouldn't have any idea coming out to practice today, watching our guys work and compete, that we were any different than any other week this year. So, listen, is it disappointing? Yeah, naturally it's disappointing because that's one of our goals every year. But the guys have handled that, I think, well. I know some people look at last week's score and say, oh, well, that must have been a reason they didn't, they got eliminated the day before and all that. That really wasn't a reason for that score. So I still saw a really good effort from a lot of guys, and I expect the same thing this Sunday.
With that being said, Sunday, last home game in the Dome, what's the importance of putting on your best performance?
Yeah, listen, I just said when we broke the team down on the field, it's been a while since we've played a complete game, all three phases kind of in sync, everybody playing their peak performance. So, for our last game at home, that would be a great opportunity for us to do that. All three, regardless of who's playing, all three phases working together, playing in sync, playing complementary football, and it is our last. Our fans deserve to our fans have been great. I got to be honest with you, really since I've taken over, the fan support has been phenomenal for me individually and our team.
I like Rizzi,
and
but
it's always nice when you're playing at home.
34-0 is crazy.
And give them one last.
I'm not saying I wouldn't hire him, and I'm just saying
like some exciting football, no doubt.
So the situation
it's just crazy.
You
can't hiring a guy
on the practice squad, Charlie Smith.
Yeah.
Is it a situation where maybe you consider getting him a shot in an NFL game, maybe over the final 2 weeks?
Decent question.
Obviously, it's not going to be an easy proposition to get him live reps under normal circumstances.
Yeah, I don't think Charlie's any different than every single guy in the practice squad. We have conversations daily about everybody and who do we want to see maybe get some work in these games.
Rico
and who's up
Payton.
and available.
I watched
We
Bud
obviously
Means
have
was
moving
not
parts of
injured.
injuries, and you can only elevate so many guys.
I'd like to see
per
some
week.
more.
You're only
See,
allowed to have
just
2
see him.
standard elevations from the practice squad, so it requires getting a guy to the 53. I think in a perfect world, you'd have all these guys you're able to elevate maybe at times, but there are restrictions roster-wise. There's only so many guys you can do that with. But listen, I think Blake Ruby's had a really good year.
Yeah, I've seen
in
enough.
fairness to
He's
him
the
and in
future.
fairness to his his professionalism has been unbelievable. And so no knock on Charlie whatsoever. But I think Charlie's time is down the road.
Also, isn't it
Damn.
with the international program, he doesn't count to the regular practice squad limit because he's part of the international.
That is accurate. He counts on the practice squad, but if you have an international player, you get one additional. So instead of having 16, we have 17 because we have an international player. That's correct.
But if he was elevated at some point, I don't even, this is probably kind of an esoteric rule, but could he still be an extra guy in the practice squad if he went back that way?
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't. You can still elevate that international player. You just have the ability to have the extra international player. So instead of having 53 and 16, you have 53 and 17. So essentially, you have 70 guys in the building. It's just an advantageous thing for the international players. So there's a number of teams throughout the league that have that guy. There's been some other teams that have actually elevated that player. The Giants come to mind. They had a kicker early in the year, and a guy got hurt, but they elevated their international guys. The rules don't. The only rules
Sorry, I
difference is
just don't care about this shit.
elevation rules are still the same.
My bad.
You've been really
That was
forthright about
impatient of me.
your career ambitions and, acknowledging that this is in some way an audition.
Some way.
So what,
The
what
full
do you-
audition,
how
bro.
do you hope people who would be
34-0
evaluating
is
you
stinking it up.
would view
Let's see what he has to say. This is
wins
what I
and
want to
losses in
hear.
the circumstance that you're in? Like, what would you hope that they'd be more like the visual of the product oriented than the actual record, or what?
I think like anybody, you want to be evaluated on the complete body of work, no different than the players. Unfortunately, when there's wins and losses, no one ever asks about the circumstances. So there's wins and losses. That's what they are when you're a coach, and that's when they are when you're a team, right? As the old saying goes, your record is what your record is, and you are what your record is. And listen, I think that when people look at, since I've taken over, I would hope that everybody would just take into account the full body of work. I think there's a lot of things we're doing really, really well, and there's certainly things we got to improve on, like every football team. But, it certainly goes into more than just the wins and the losses. I understand the question. And so I think that, we put our best foot forward here every day, and I think that that's been proven so far. But I'm just really worried about this Sunday. So,
Man, I like this guy. I just can't help it. I like him. You know what I mean? Bro, as much hate as Carr gets, sometimes you got to call a spade, man. And that if Carr was playing that last game, it would look a lot different. Of course, he's a fucking veteran quarterback, not a rookie. But man, it goes beyond Carr. It's the line, it's the receivers that, Dante Pettis, Mason Tipton. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? But it's tough. Really tough hand this man was dealt. It's a fucking really tough hand every single player like that gets behind. It's a tough hand Carr was dealt. It's a tough hand Rattler was dealt. It was a tough hand Hainer was held, even though Hainer looked like shit. It's tough. It's a really tough situation in New Orleans.
With it being the fourth year in a row that the team misses the playoffs, how do you want the team to channel the frustration and what were their reactions when they
Disgusting.
realized that was the
4 years without making the playoffs.
I'm sorry. Would you mind repeating that? I apologize.
Missing the playoffs the fourth year in a row? When you realize that, how do you want guys to, I guess, channel that frustration and I guess the initial reactions to it?
It's not about the frustration to me. It's about we're all professionals here. And so, yeah, listen, as I mentioned before, is it disappointing that the playoffs are no longer, an option for us? Naturally, absolutely, 100% yes. But the expectation is still the accountability thing, the 111 thing, all that still
Hey man, it's football.
comes into play every day.
Every
when the
rep
guys
counts.
walk through
Every
the
rep is
door,
experience.
Here every day, you still expect them to be professional, accountable, come in with a great attitude, work hard, and give back to, again, we mentioned the fans. Our goal every week is to go out there and put the best product on the field and to win a game and to put a best product on there for the New Orleans Saints fans. Period. The end. So the expectation doesn't change whether or not we make we're going to be involved in the postseason or not.
How much do you think, there's this feeling, I think, in pro sports that after a series of years not making the postseason, that the kind of window closes on the established core of the team, and that there's going to be a lot of changes. And so how do you address with players how to handle this look at this more as a career opportunity than worrying about any kind of dismantling?
Yeah, the real answer to that is I really haven't even crossed that bridge yet. I'm really just concentrating on the Raiders. We have a short.
Yeah, that's nothing that they're even talking about right now, bro. There's 2 games left in the season. They're a football team. They're just gonna be a football team, and then worry about that shit in the offseason.
Really. Holiday week, it's a lot of distractions going on as there is. And so really just trying to keep the focus on that. I think those individual conversations happen at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think our roster is very mixed with veteran players and younger players. We still have a number of young guys that are playing out there. We have very few of some of those veteran guys sprinkled in. And I think all those conversations are for, after the last game and really just not keeping the focus on that at all.
Yep.
The bottom line is when these guys go out there every day, I mentioned the circumstances. When someone puts the film on and watches this week's game against the Raiders, there's not a footnote at the bottom and says this is the circumstances. That's their body of work. That's their professional resume, and they're putting that out there on film. And so, no different than the coaching staff. The players is the same thing. So they're going to get evaluated, whether young, old, or in the middle somewhere. Their video resume is their video resume, and so someone's going to watch that film, whether it's in this building or somewhere else, and that's what they're putting on the film. So I think that's from the professional side of it. That's really what I was referring to before.
All right.
Thank you.
We're not done yet. We're going to check out Cam Jordan's comments. I know that was dry a little bit. I didn't really have nothing much to say. I just, it's interesting. I like Darren Rizzi, but, I already said the circumstances are pretty fucked up in New Orleans right now. So, yeah.
What drives you? What drives the team in a game like this?
What do you mean? This is
It's football, baby.
This is a game you play for each other. This is a game you play for yourself. I've said it,
football,
numerous
baby.
times over the years. We only get 16 or 17 opportunities to play this game. And I say 16 because that's what it was, and now that's where we are now. There's 2 games left, and there's still football to be played.
It's football, baby.
You're doing it
That's
for the
all.
love of the game. If you don't have
That's
love
all.
for the game, then you should never stepped on the field in the beginning.
That's exactly what it is.
To you a lot about the difference between the first 9 weeks of this season or 8 weeks of this season versus the second half of this season, but just in general, where are you in your career right now? How good do you feel like you're playing football right now? How healthy do you feel? Like all of that.
Well, I mean, with the role given, I'd say I'm playing really well in terms of run stopping, but we always knew that part. So you have to look at the pass rush opportunities. I don't know how well I'd rate myself playing an interior pass rusher.
That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't say I'm happy about it at the same time.
Come
That's
on.
something that,
Call fucking Granderson and Chase Young. I'm sorry, I get passionate. This nigga. Let me relax. This guy should be on the outside, getting most of his reps on the outside. The disrespect is crazy. Dennis Allen, fuck you. Yeah.
Well, I've gotten better over this year.
Like, you move a guy from the outside to the fucking inside. He's been at the outside his whole fucking career. Because you move a fucking legend inside because his ankle was fucked up last season. Don't get that shit twisted. Or he had some injury. Don't get that shit twisted. He was playing through it. And he gets moved inside next season? Man, fuck that. For Carl fucking Granderson and Chase Young. No offense to those guys. But who the fuck are they? Honestly, bro. Like, the disrespect is beyond me.
It has been my spot. Now that's something that we'll definitely have to address in the offseason. So how do I feel? I feel good physically, if that's what we're alluding to. Yeah.
Any thoughts about the offseason?
season yet, or?
What do you mean? Like where I'm going, where I'm traveling, what I'm doing?
Or just, do you expect to be back here next year? Or
Oh, yeah. I mean, it'd be news to me if I wasn't. At the same time, you never know. You know,
Man, these
as you can see,
Cam,
I wish
bro.
we had played to our full potential with a fully healthy roster.
They looking in that
We
room.
haven't been fully
I've
healthy
been looking at
since
these.
week two as a team.
I'd be looking at them
You get an
reporters
offensive line
crazy.
back, and then you lose the offensive line again. So I don't even know where we stand going into this week.
Don't ever
In
insinuate
terms
this
of
man
myself,
retiring.
Yeah, if there's a question to be brought back or not, I didn't. You know, that'll be news to me if it's not. Again, I won't come back at D tackle though.
Hell no.
That's a waste.
Hell no.
That's obvious.
Hell no, bro.
Yeah,
If
no
they
doubt.
put these men at D tackle next season, bro, Cam, go somewhere else, bro. Go fucking somewhere else, bro.
My
That shit
love
disrespectful
for
as
New
fuck.
Orleans goes
Cause
deeper than the team, and if it hasn't been proven this year, I don't know what would.
man, the disrespect, bro. Well, that's it for today, man. Had to end it on that note. I mess with you, Cam. I mess with Darren Rizzi too. The situation is just fucked up in New Orleans. But yeah, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, bro. Appreciate anybody who watched. Appreciate the subscribers I got. Yeah, we're gonna keep going.